Hey everybody, stay tuned for the Chazman Show. It's Valentine's Day and we got something special here planned for you. Okay, roll the intro. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Chazman Show. Today is Valentine's Day. Got a special episode here for you. A little unconventional. When you think about Valentine's Day, you think of hearts and flowers and chocolate and all that wonderful stuff. But here, what I want to talk to you about, what I have on my topic list is the things I've seen in movies that really show love for another person. And what I mean by that is like sacrifices, deeds they've done. And I've got about 5 or 6 of them. And I'm not going to be talking about things like, and say anything where John Cusack goes over to his girlfriend's house wearing the trench coat and holds the radio over his head and all that good stuff. That's just sugary, sweet rom-com crap. I'm talking about real life stuff. So for example, let's go ahead and start this, okay? Let's just go with the one that's right on top of my head. In Rocky 2, Rocky has got the rematch of his life against Apollo Creed, but Adrian has come down sick and she's pregnant, she's in the hospital. And Rocky doesn't do anything. He stays by her side, he reads from that book, and all the while Mickey's going crazy. He's like, let's get out there and train. And Rocky's like, no, I'm staying by Adrian. And so comes to pass, she finally wakes up and she says to Rocky, there's something I need for you to do for me. And he goes, what? And she goes, come here. And she whispers and she goes, win. And of course, as soon as Mickey hears that, his big line was, what are we waiting for? So anyhow, that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about, those heroic feats. Now, another movie that comes to my mind is Goodfellas. Okay, so Karen and Henry Hill are just dating. And Karen goes out on a date with one of these guys and he tries to pull something with her and she doesn't like it. So she tells Henry. So what does Henry do? Henry goes over to the guy's house, pulls his revolver out of the glove box and proceeds to pistol whip the crap out of this guy. Well, Karen knew that Henry loved her at that point, didn't she? Because that's a sacrifice I'm talking about. That's the deeds I'm talking about. Now, in Hannibal Lecter is handcuffed to Clarice. And it's a point where he can, cut off, he's got to get away. What does he do? Hannibal cuts off his own hand to get away, but he leaves Clarice safe. Okay? That's heroic. The fact that he's a doctor and he knows what, how to fix himself up is beside the point. The fact is, he would rather cut his own hand off to make sure that Clarice is safe than to harm a hair on her head. Okay? In Deadpool, Wade goes away. He learns he has cancer and he goes away to superhero school, superhero camp, and undergoes a whole lot of experiments to cure his cancer. But he does this in the middle of the night to leave Vanessa because he doesn't want to burden Vanessa with all the pain that she's going to have to go through watching the man she loves having cancer. So, and then of course she gets abducted and finally Wade saves the day. He saves her and he takes off the mask and he's got another mask of Hugh Jackman underneath of it. But the big story there is the fact that she doesn't care what he looks like, She loves him. So that's another good example of, love conquers all type thing. How about Taxi Driver? Travis wants to impress Iris so badly that he tries to kill the president. This is for a hooker. He wants to impress her. He is so messed up in the head over heels in love with this girl that he'll do anything. Kill the president? Goodness gracious. If that isn't something, that's putting yourself out there. Goodness gracious. In Avatar, Jake falls in love with Neytiri. And he goes and he finds Taruk, that big ass red dragon, and he jumps on the back of him, becomes, you know, Mach 2 or whatever the hell they want to call him. But and then he fights against the Earth people, and he saves the day, you know. And then the ultimate thing is he leaves his body and he risks death to get his soul transferred into the body of that cat person. Okay, the whole thing is he's willing to risk death in order to become with her. And of course, you know, spoiler alert, you know, the transfer works this time, and so at the end of the movie, you know, his eyes open up and he's a cat person living there on Pandora for the rest of his life and all that good stuff. That's kind of thing. Now, in Titanic, you know, that's not really the kind of movie that really gets me going, because now here's where people get confused. Jack and Rose are out there in the water's freezing cold, and they both try to get up on the door. But Jack, you know, doesn't make it, so Rose is up on the door all by herself, and he's talking to her the whole time. Now that's love, yeah, but the fact of the matter is, Rose lives, and she keeps the jewel. I think Rose had an ulterior motive the entire time. That's just my take on it. At the end of the movie, of course, you know, they're reunited, you know, when Rose dies, you know. I mean, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen this movie, well, you need to see it. But, you know, oh, another spoiler alert, the Titanic, yeah, it sinks. Okay, so there's kind of the idea behind what I think of as the ultimate sacrifice, or doing a great deed for somebody, a sacrifice, when it comes to Valentine's Day. Now, there's a different kind of love out there I'm not going to address right now, but in Shawshank, okay, Red breaks his parole. He travels to the beach, you know, he leaves the country, also he can be with his buddy Andy. That's kind of a romantic type thing too, isn't it, if you think about it? I mean, it's a different kind of love. You know, that's a bromance right there. But I'm talking about this Valentine's Day. I hope you have somebody in your life who would risk death to be with you, that would cut off their hand to be with you, that would go to superhero camp and get all kind of mangled up and fight bad guys for you. I want you to have somebody in your life that will pistol whip the shit out of somebody if they harm any hair on your head. I also want somebody in your life that will postpone their training, even though it's like it's the biggest event in this guy's life. Postpone his training to fight, you know, Apollo Creed a second time for the World Championship. I want a guy in your life that will put off his training until you wake up from your coma and you tell him it's okay to go train. And I want you not only to train, but I want you to win. So anyhow, guys, that's my take on Valentine's Day. I hope you have somebody in your life that's like that. Happy Valentine's Day. Hope it's a good one. Bye-bye.